webinar today is Equal Pay Day campaigns. Equal pay has been one of the primary issues in BPW International since our beginning in 1930. Our founder, Dr. Lena Madison Phillips, addressed it in our earliest proceedings, as no country today has yet achieved gender equal pay. Our work continues. Our first speaker are Krista Krishman and Karim Babul from BPW Europe Working Group on Equal Pay Day campaigns. Krista is a member of BPW Austria. She is the past Federation president, and also she is one of our UN representatives in Vienna. She is an economist and international consultant on economic matters. Karim is a BPW France member. She has served as Vice President Communication as well as Interim President of the Federation. She is a project manager for National Agency for Working Conditions Improvement in France. Secondly, we will hear from Dr. Stephanie Bickert, former press secretary of BPW Germany. Stephanie has a PhD in culture studies and a press secretary. She also spoke regularly to the media on the issue of equal pay in Germany. Thanks to all our speakers today and our attendees. Dear friends, the floor is yours.
Very welcome to this Equal Pay Day presentation. My name is Krista Kirchmeier. I'm from BPW Austria. To give you a small overview what we have prepared for you, here is the directory. Welcome from me and Karim Baboulet from BPW France. We want to explain you very shortly what Equal Pay Day is, say something about the Equal Pay Day history and the calculation of the Equal Pay Day, which is quite important. Also, we want to give you a very actual overview about Equal Pay Day in all European countries from our actual European report. Then we move over to a bit of European data and the issue of gender pay gap concerning very actual coronavirus. Karin has prepared some slides for you on that. And last but not least, I want to introduce to you a country action plan, how you can start your own Equal Pay Day in your country and stay on, and show you some examples how it is done from Austria to France and Spain. So be prepared for some interesting minutes. My name is Krista. I'm the chair of the European Working Group of Equal Pay Day, and I'm doing Equal Pay Day work for over 10 years in Austria now. Karin, some words of you?
Yes, my name is Karin Babul, and I'm Vice Chair European Working Group about Equal Pay Day and Vice President of the French Federation, and I'm working for the French Labour Ministry in the agency.
Thank you, Karin. My profession is I'm a business consulting and doing equal pay projects together with companies. So this is a quite interesting team. And probably most of you know the Equal Pay Day, what is behind. It's a global awareness campaign of BPW. Equal Pay Day is the symbolic action day for equal pay for women and men. This is quite important because it's a symbolic day, and this is what it stands for. It is existing the current gender pay gap in a given country, and it is calculated especially for this country. And typically, Equal Pay Day emphasizes the day till that women work unpaid, whereas men get paid. So if you can assume as an example, men start working on 1st of January, men are paid, women are paid starting 22nd of March, for example, if this is the country Equal Pay date. Just to make sure, gender pay gap, because this is also a special vocabulary we use in this presentation. It's what we mean by gender pay gap. It's the difference of remuneration paid to women and men. It's mostly used for same or equal work, comparable work. We want to state it here as a general term. It can be a result of discrimination, direct discrimination, of course, sectoral segregation, pay structures, the glass ceiling, and much more. Back to Equal Pay Day. The Equal Pay Day history, it's quite long. It's starting in the 1963 in the US with the legal issue Equal Pay Act. And then in 1988, there was the very famous Red Purse campaign. It came to Europe in 2008. Germany started the Equal Pay Day campaign and introduced it to Austria and Switzerland on the so-called DACH meeting. And this is where we took over the Equal Pay Day campaign. And from that point, it was spread all over the European BPW countries. The red purse is the symbol for the red figures in the purses of the women. So we work a lot with the red purse, as you can see in the slide up there. And the Equal Pay Day itself stands for a day till women work unpaid compared to men. How to calculate Equal Pay Day? This is quite a critical issue because there is a lot said about calculation and gaps, and it's not easy to differentiate sometimes on that. And this is the BPW calculation. It's based on the national statistic. You take the salary wage gap from the national statistics and take the 365 days. And so you can calculate your country Equal Pay Day. Which is quite important to take the national statistics, and the 365 is to harmonize the day all over the world globally, which is partly done so far, but we are working on it. And data is quite important because it's the basis for all Equal Pay Day work, and it has to be very valid. And in Austria, we have it over 11 years right now, and then we can compare it if we always have the same data used. So please take the unadjusted pay gap in your country from your National Statistics Institute. Here are some examples. You see the examples up there is concerning Austria. It's in German, so how we state it together with graphics to make it quite clear and to show how it's working. And the other example is from France. Currently, we have, this year we had in the European countries the following Equal Pay dates. You see it's quite differentiating between the countries. I have to say that the countries sometimes calculated a bit different. You see Austria, we were on the 25th of February, Poland 7th of March. So it's just a very actual overview from this year's what the European BPW countries reported for the European report.
Yeah.
Karen,
so regarding the European data, you have all the information in Eurostat, but in the next slide, you have a brief synthesis. In the next slide, you have a little synthesis of the data in Europe. There is no significant variation over time and across Europe, but we have a pay gap of 16%. And if you decompose this percentage, there is 5% as gap between men and women with different characteristics, mainly due to economic sectors, work time, and it's important to say that education is not a significant reason. The other discomposed part is 11%, and it's a gap between men and women with same characteristics. That's to say the unexplained gender pay gap. So the unadjusted gender pay gap in Europe is 16%, and the gender pay in pension is 38%. It's very important to know this, this data. In the next slide, a little focus about coronavirus and gender pay gap. What we learn about this period is that women are at the front line of the COVID-19, and globally 70% of health and social care workers are women, and they are paid even less than their male counterparts. And if you have a closer look on all health workforce is 28%. That's a huge difference. And so in the next slide, you have some topics about this coronavirus period. Job evaluation is a priority in all jobs overexposed to coronavirus and where women are overrepresented. Women are also concerned a lot by severe job losses in women-dominated professions, as flight attendants, tour operators, sales assistants, hotel cleaners, and for migrants, the situation is even worse. It's important to say that unpaid care work will increase too. So in order to close the gender pay gap in the next slide, we have to have a systemic approach. Only one action is not sufficient. So it's very important to have minimum wages and access to decent work, transparency of job evaluation, mixing industry and branches in the economy, but also facilitating a family-friendly culture in companies, building and extending care facilities, especially for children under the age of 3, but also a very important action is to reforming parental leave and promoting paternal leave, which is a key action. Increasing the value of female-dominated branches, as we said about healthcare work, promoting women on boards and mixity in unions, because if you have no woman in the area of decision, the things can't change. Reforming working time and flexibility arrangements to secure the employment by protecting against violence at work and domestic violence. This is a very important action and a new one since the new international convention of the ILO about violence against violence at work. Companies now have to consider domestic violence. It's a new thing, it's a very ambitious thing, and companies have to protect by organizational measures. Sanctioning is also a very important thing. But about equal pay, if we focus on equal pay measures, some countries have a legal framework. So in the next slide, you have some examples of legislative framework. In Iceland, for example, companies have to have job description gender neutral and to reflect the actual value of the job. In United Kingdom, companies have to calculate and publish a gender pay gap, as in France, where companies have to calculate the gender equality index made up of 5 criteria, like pay gap in equal and mixed job, salary increase, promotion, salary increase to women returning from maternity leave, and number of women among its 10 highest salaries. It's not sufficient, but it's a beginning. In the next slide, just some tools companies can use, because it's very important in companies regarding the framework. We talk about it, but also during the collective negotiation, it's very important to make analysis, statistical analysis about the difference and professional inequalities and on equal pay gap. So companies have now different kind of tools in order to make qualitative and quantitative analysis. So in this slide, you can have some links in order to promote this kind of tools. In the next slide, Krista, it's for you.
Yes, this is the perfect head over. The tools for companies, they're emerging a lot of tools right now because equal pay is a hot issue. We are all very afraid that it will be some days, weeks, years later because of the coronavirus, and it will not be upfront right now. And we see that in Austria already, and we are working on that quite hard to keep it right in the middle of our universe. And this is why we want to give you some ideas for your own equal pay day and your country equal pay day. And please, you can ask us anytime and collect about all work that was done all over Europe. So we propose start your equal pay day campaign right now, and want to show you how it was done, how we did it on Austria, and we had some real challenges. I think it's the budget problem. We do not have any budget, and we do not get any money from the state in Austria for this issue. Know-how is also quite important, because you have to make sure what kind of data you use and how you argue if you're talking to the press and political leaders, and you need to be really sure about that. There are a lot of chances if you take care and make up equal pay day for your country, because you can be the leader and you can drive the issue really in your country. We have seen that in the European countries that it worked really well, and BPW countries, they started with equal pay day campaigning, and political parties, the civil society, they are following now. The press is following this theme, so we really introduced that in Europe. Lessons learned, yeah, we learned a lot of lessons. I gave you some points already. So the point is, make sure you use the right data and be consistent on that. And then nothing can stop you, and you can start. So some recommendations for your country equal pay day, and we really invite every country to work on that. It's worth it anyhow. So start with an action or interest group, find your data and set the date. This is quite important, because the experience I made in the international equal pay day work is that some countries expect that the data is given or brought, and no, you need to find your national data where it is, if you can use it. I know about the problems in Austria because I calculate the equal pay day for Austria. So I'm searching for the data in our National Statistic Institute, and then we calculate it ourselves. That's quite different to other countries like Germany. They get the date already. So, but you need to make sure what is your best source for your reliable data upfront, and then go ahead with that. Make sure you can use the same data anytime, and can use it for comparing the data for the coming years. In Austria, I can tell you over the last 11 years, we need to change Two times we have the same data, but we changed to the median calculation, which was quite important. And we did once the change from the working days to the 365 days, which was very important. But anytime it's through the equal pay day quite upfront, it through it from April into February, and then you need to argue about that quite well, because it's not the situation that it's much better, it's a calculation issue. But don't hesitate, it's not that difficult, and you can ask anytime and find Euro groups that help you on that. Make an action plan, a project plan for your countries, make sure what you like and what you can do, what kind of campaigns, events, social media you can do, how your resources are. Find some key messages that are fine for you and your country. Decide on your communication strategy and find partners that support you. Then you can have a real, very broad campaign. Some things for what we did in Austria. We have 11 years right now. Equal Pay Day is very well known countrywide. We have the situation that the press is calling me to get informed, and they also want to know it upfront when it will be, which is quite demanding in Austria, because I change to the newest data, and I get the data around Christmas, and then I calculate it, and it will be sometimes in February. So long-term planning is also not possible here. You have a clue when it might be, but it's a complete different situation we are facing in Austria compared to other European countries. So make your plan, look where you are in your country and what needs to be done. And when BPW invented Equal Pay Day in Austria 11 years ago, some political parties, they liked it very much, and so they invented a second Equal Pay Day, and it led to the issue that we are having two Equal Pay Days in Austria right now. We have the Spring Equal Pay Day, where BPW is famous for, and the other Equal Pay Day is in autumn. So they just calculate the other way around and use a little bit slightly different data, but in the end it's the same, and we can push this issue twice a year. So, I mean, I'm happy for that. We have a very broad press on that, and you see what unexpected things can happen. What might be interesting to know, kind of best practice for Austria, we do our own calculation. We are very independent on that. As BPW, we are very independent, and this is well known. And this is what our partners and the press for all this public relations work, they really love that, asking us or asking me, because of this independency, as we are no political party. And I mean, we do not have any money, this is the bad part of it, but we are very well known, and for this very special know-how and all the actions we have done over this 10, 11 years, we built our own homepage just for Equal Pay Day 3 years ago, to make all this know-how available. I have to admit it's just in German right now, but we are thinking how we can do this European-wide in English to collect all this Equal Pay Day know-how we have here from all the countries. And what we are doing in Austria is that the local clubs, they make a lot of events, very small events, from schools into companies. And we also doing some countrywide action. And some years ago, I invented the so-called Equal Pay Day Future Lab, where we're working together with university and always work on this Equal Pay Day issue and how we can get better on that. So you see some pictures from this year's Equal Pay Day Future Lab. This is our club, Wien International, very special club. And we have done this on the Technical University together with some main partners from institutions and civil societies this year. Some more pictures up front from Austria's Equal Pay Day this year to give you a little impression. There's some creative people together with the Carnival and some other actions more on in schools and meetings. And what might be also very interesting, we have a kind of spin-off of Equal Pay Day in Austria, and some members, me together with some members of my club, we founded a new initiative called Equal Pay Initiative to get more to the solutions part, because Equal Pay Day is very well known and now it gets to be solved. We want to solve the problems, not just talking around it anymore. And this is why we founded a new initiative, which is called Equal Pay, to work on that. So it's quite interesting, and we do have some synergies here together with politics and companies and try to move forward on that. So Karin, your turn.
Yes. So quite quickly, some information about our actions in France this year. Thanks to our partners, it's important to ask help to some partners when you can. So thanks to the School of Management Audencia, the consulting group KPMG, the insurance group AG2R, the bank Caisse d'Épargne, but also the Professional Equality Ministry, we organized a salary negotiation training sessions in each club in France. And the baseline of the Equal Pay Day was equal pay in order to reach the sustainable development goals, in order to have a sustainable development an inclusive one. So with the coronavirus, we quite organize in different ways the Equal Pay Day. So our clubs took the occasion to manage numeric tools. So some clubs, as Paris and Lyon, organize online conferences and training session online. So I think it's yes, it's a good way to spread the better the information of equal pay. And some information about we think that media communication is very important. So don't hesitate to communicate in newspapers, in television, with politics. In the previous one, you can see the Labor Ministry in France. On the right and on the left, you can see that Guy Ryder, the director of ILO, sustained the Equal Pay Day campaign. So in order to be more legitimate, it's very important to communicate with politics and with the companies, because there is a lot of actors with a lot of topics, with more means, with more than us in order to communicate. So very important to communicate in media, and also just some in order to communicate in the next slide, don't hesitate to change each year and choose a topic linked with the actuality. So just some example of communication leaflets of the previous years in France. And don't hesitate to to use the woman empowerment principles with the companies. When you organize an Equal Pay Day event, don't hesitate to invite companies and to make us affirm the woman empowerment principle label.
Okay, thank you, Karine, for these insights in France. I've here just some more pictures about BPW Spain. Spain has also a lot of experience, same as many other European BPW countries, and much more you can find in the European Equal Pay Day report. Some pictures and nice, and we are collecting everything. So if you feel there's something missing, so please come and let us know. And for this time, I want to say thank you very much. And please, if you have any questions, we are available, and thank you.
And Krista, we have an Equal Pay Day Europe BPW Europe report.
Yes.
So yes. we will put the link in the slides.
Yes.
In order to show all the great events made by all the countries in BPW Europe.
Of course, we do this. Good idea. Thank you, Karine. And thank you for working together on this issue and join the working group.
Yes. Don't hesitate to ask us questions. See you soon.
So I'm here today to tell you something about the Equal Pay Day campaign in Germany, how it's run. And before I start off, I will tell you something about education and then what we're doing online. Before I start, I just wanted to say that the Equal Pay Day campaign in Germany has been around for 13 years. It's going into its 14th year. So there has been a lot of momentum already, certainly with each year press coverage building up. So the Equal Pay Day in Germany is set as a date for the press to report on. So each year we can build on that. And because we get some state funding as well, we have the possibility to have an office that is staffed all year round and that is accessible all year round to the general public with questions, and also for press coverage all year round. So that that's just something you should be aware of when I'm running through what we're doing here. First thing would be press and communication. There hasn't been much change around the gender pay gap in Germany. It's been quite stagnant at 21%. So what we're doing each year to make sure we're not reporting the same fact all over again, so pitching to the press each year, it's 21%, it's 21%, we need to do something about it. We came up with the yearly motto. So each year we're thinking about what the motto would be. We're thinking of a strong visual and a claim that we can put forward. So to give you an idea, this is the 2020 journal, and this is our motto 2020, which was negotiations. So it's auf Augenhöhe, which is something like for a level playing field, we are ready, and the visual that we are promoting around the Equal Pay Day and all year round. So, for example, this year we had new research in Germany coming up with the fact that the myth that women don't ask in negotiation, that they don't care as much about money, was false for this new data that came up, that women ask for raises, they ask for negotiation, they just don't get them in the end due to stereotyping, etc. So when we were thinking about the motto for this year, we came up with this research and decided this would be a good thing to promote. So each year we're trying to come up with something new around the gender pay gap, building on all the reasons, stereotyping, etc. And so each year we have something new that we can pitch to the press, because as you know, press always wants something new, some new speakers, experts, researchers. So we're having that yearly motto, and with that motto as well, you can keep the momentum all year round. So even now, after the Equal Pay Day, which has been on March 17th, we're able to pitch to the press as well, because we're having the motto, and we can pitch about negotiations, pitch a commentary why it's false that women can't negotiate, etc. So you can build on that. Also, to keep that momentum all year round, we have a minimum of 3 press releases each year. So we have one the year prior. So we always announce the motto for the coming March, mostly in March because it's around 20%, the year before in November. So we always have a big press release and also a conference where we are coming up with the visual, the motto. We are telling the public for the first time, this is the date and this is the motto. Then we have a press release for the Equal Pay Day itself. And then we have a press release around April, May, where we are basically telling the new date. So the date is set by the Federal Statistical Office because they are calculating the gender pay gap. But we have a different press release saying we as the BPW are responsible for the Equal Pay Day. We set the Equal Pay Day on that date. So this is the third one. And with the 3 press releases, as I said, you can span attention over the year, which is a good thing. Then we have a bi-monthly newsletter that is going out where we just report on the campaign, what we're doing, what we have been doing, what has been going on with gender equality in Germany all year round. And as I said before, it's been running for 13 years, so we have a press database, and we're not only answering to the press, but also actively pitching articles, commentary, online print, radio, where we're, as you can see, in the slide, trying to get Uta as the president of BPW as a spokesperson in as much as we can, with her writing articles, speaking on the radio and podcasts and also on TV. And what we have as well is we have 2 publications, just a small one, which is a flyer, which goes out at the end of the year for the you have motto and the visual. And then we also have a journal, which I have here, which is a 20 pages publication. And we're doing that. So the Equal Pay Day office is doing that. BPW is doing the journal. We're getting the articles in, getting the experts in. It's a mixture of university experts, talking about the research, talking about the motto, but also some more like lighthearted materials. For example, we have a page, introducing some TED Talks you can listen to or watch with regards to negotiations. So, and the journal, due to the funding, is free, so you can order that and get it sent out to your home, and you can read it online. We're using Issue for that, and also as a downloadable PDF for all your readers on our website. So the good thing about the journal is that you get speakers in, or you get new people for your speaker pool in, because you're asking experts if they want to write in articles. You can foster new alliances with NGOs. So it's quite a good way to push the motto again, to ask people to write for the journal. And then you also have a pool of people that wrote about the motto and that can act as experts for the press, because they not only want the president all the time, sometimes they want to have an expert as well. So it's quite a nice way to have a pool of people you can pitch to the press, and you also can ask to speak at events. Of events, one important piece to get it out street, to get flags up and to have the red purses and have it all over Germany, because this is also what the press likes the most, if they can get out and film a at a cinema or film some street action activism on the streets. This is what they like. Events on the street are actually a big part, and the BPW clubs are doing a lot. They've been fostering alliances all over Germany with local papers, cinemas, etc. And we also have the equal opportunity officers in Germany who we try to encourage to raise their flags on the Equal Pay Day, which is also a nice thing where the press can go to and have the mayor or whoever raise the flag. So we, as the office in Berlin, are not doing events on our own, but we have a website where we are sharing ideas and tips, what you can do. And as I said, we have a speaker pool, we have a database, so we help with organizing. For example, last year we had new legislation in Germany saying that actually you would have to get a written confirmation of everybody if you took a photo of them and then put it up online. So a lot of our partners were confused, how are we doing that? Can still photograph our street protests? But this is also things we're doing, that we're trying to help with all the questions coming in and keep the events running smoothly. And we're also helping with press and communication. So we're having little how to do a press release, how to approach the press. And we're also giving out a communication document where we have like 3 to 5 points, which ties in with the motto. So to make sure whenever people approach us as an office, we can tell them, by the way, this is the motto. If you speak to the press, this is what you can say, this is the research. So we're giving them as much accessible, bites of text they can use in their own press releases, etc. And this is not only, it has been elaborating with the events. We're doing that with local cinemas, as I said, also with businesses that are doing the 21% discount. So it's not only the normal NGO BPW clubs that we are catering to, but a whole range of partners that are doing events all over. And then we're helping them as well with designing their flyers, posters, providing them with text, as I said. What we're seeing more and more is that also the partners are doing more. Whenever you have street events on the street activism on the streets, it's more and more tied in with online action. So, for example, a tram going around in Munich with EPW printed on it, a Straßenbahn, and they tie that in with an online action saying, if you see it, take a picture, this is the hashtag, etc. They have Würzburg had people, cults, doing little YouTube videos with them this year, how are you negotiating privately around care work and stuff. So our partners are doing more and more online, and we are as well doing more and more online. It's a bit of an hen and egg situation. We try to foster online activism as well, but it's also coming from a lot of partners. So what we've been doing is we have a site where we have a lot of information already, which is used heavily, and we are also called now, for example, this year on March 17th on the Equal Pay Day, we had 8 female-run online businesses around menstrual cups and natural cosmetics, etc., that approached us and were like, we want to do, a big online action on Instagram. How are we doing that? And then we try to make sure that the communication is right. So we help them with their Instagram stories. Where do I get the figures from? How do I frame it? So we make sure that the facts and figures are correct, and also try to get our visual and get our motto in to make sure all the action happening on the Equal Pay Day from different partners somehow ties back in with the BPW campaign. You can always see a link there. And what you see is on our website, we have a toolkit for online activism. So you see the little pre-done postings there. So we have postings you can simply download for your Facebook feed, for your Twitter feed, just to make sure we get a lot of individuals as well posting on the Equal Pay Day. We have templates for Instagram stories, and we also had this year where you can see there as well a profile pic tool for social media, so you can change your profile pic and add the little red circle with the date and the hashtag that was used as well. And this year, because of Corona, it was actually very good to have all those online tools, because we were able to say, even if most of the street events or events at all were not taking place, you can still do something online. It's a really good thing to have, and you should always think about tying that in with online activism. We, as the Equal Pay Day itself in Germany, are on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram with 10K following, adding up to a 10K following. And as I said, with these online companies, we are also doing social media partnerships where we cross-post also with other NGOs. Just one last remark before I finish with online is, when you decide to do more online, what you always have to keep in mind is that online or social media is never a one-way street. So the more you grow, the more feedback comes in, the more criticism comes in. So once you start that, you always have to make sure that you can actually stop it, because if you have individuals also changing their profile pic or using your post on their Facebook profile, you also want to give feedback, even if it's only a heart or a like. And just to make sure when you start something on social media, looking at it, answering the questions, just to make sure that it's not a sad profile where nobody answers in the commentary. Okay, that's it.
We want to thank all of our speakers in today's video on Equal Pay Day campaigns. First, we heard from Krista Kirchmar, who chairs the BPW Europe Working Group on EPD. And secondly, with her was Karine Baboul, who is on that working group as well. Thirdly, we heard from Dr. Stephanie Bickert in BPW Germany, who had until recently was their press secretary and spoke quite a lot with the media on EPD. And we heard about the German example, in which case they're a little bit unique because they work directly with the government on this issue. So all in all, we hope that this has been very informative to you, our BPW viewers around the world, and that you feel more prepared to run your own such campaigns. This is an effort, as Dr. Yasmin had mentioned, that BPW has taken on since our founder, Dr. Lena Madison Phillips, put it into the 1930 proceedings of BPW. So unfortunately, no country has quite achieved equal pay to this day, so our work continues. Thank you to all of our viewers for joining us in this video. We hope that you'll also share it with all of your BPW sisters, and we hope that you'll join us for future videos. See you soon.